Well, I know you're busy right now, so any closing comments you want to make to these people before I go on and show them how they're going to make money?
No, I just one of the good things, one of the main things that I always just stand up and pound my chest on is we truly are the company that does it for you. We take so much of that away from so much of the worry. We you can call and talk to me at any given time. You can talk to anybody at the office at any given time. We will help you through the process. We're not just going to cookie cutter this and just not put you and the personal touches in there. We want to have a long-term relationship as an investor with us together and do business going down the road. So I say this over and over. We're the only true done-for-you company, but along the way, we're going to tell you what we did and how we're doing it so that you feel good and involved in the project.
Excellent. Well, Chad, then I appreciate you jumping in. And right now, literally, he's on the road. Hopefully, you're not getting a ticket for doing this talking, or hopefully you pulled over. But we do appreciate the time. So have fun out there.
Hey, yeah, thank you very much. Give us a call if you have any questions. I'd love to talk to anybody when I get back.
Excellent.
Thanks, Todd.
Well, how does Marquis do it? Look, Marquis has buying power, and we have some connections that we've developed over the years that very few investors really are ever going to achieve. And the thing is that there's no time to learn, folks. This is a market out there that you want to take advantage of, and you want to take advantage of it now. And there's relationships are with banks, government agencies, local real estate professionals, all of the above, and we use those connections to actually go out there and find the properties that are the right properties for you. Secondly, we move a lot of properties. They talk about quantity and how important that is to achieving profits in a low margin market. Guess what? That's what we're in. And we move a lot of those properties, and guess what? Cash is king. A lot of people think that they can go out there and they can find an REO and then go up and go the standard route of financing that property. It just doesn't happen. You have to have cash. And the thing is that even if you did have the time, by the time you got that all put together, even if the bank was going to allow you to work on something like that, those properties are usually gone before you could ever put the financing together. So the end result is what? Our clients benefit from what we can do for them. And the thing is you're going to end up with homes that are guaranteed to have a clean title, and this is no small thing. Believe me, a lot of times we'll find properties, a great property, and then we find out it has $15,000 in liens on it that we have to go negotiate. You're going to get a house that's completely rehabbed. So you're not going to buy a home, think that it has $2,000 in rehab, and find out that it has $13,000 in rehab by the time you tear into it. Again, we've taken that step out of the mix. You don't have to do it, and you don't have to suffer the risk associated with it. Then we're going to go ahead and rent it with a local trusted property management company so that you don't have to worry about tenants or toilets. You become an investor and literally are making money day one. That's successful real estate investing. If you're the kind of person that likes to go out there, buy fixer-uppers, do all the sweat equity, we're not the company for you. And I'm not saying that that's a bad idea. I'm just saying if you have expertise in that market, great. But for the rest of us, that don't have the time, but we do have money that we want to invest in this market, this is the type of model you should be looking at. Now, when I show you examples here tonight, a lot of time you'll see names associated. You'll see a first name and a last initial. Our clients take their privacy it's very, very important to them. And so the examples that I show you today are real world examples. We're not making numbers up. And we're also not showing you the best deals, the best situations. What we want to show you is the typical situation. And many of our clients do much better than what we'll be showing you here tonight. Now this house right here, valued $187,000 just a couple of years ago. Marilyn bought that house for $45,000. Marilyn's a real person. That really did happen. It's not theory. This house right here in Grand Rapids, valued at $85,000 just a couple of years ago. Kim G purchased that same property just a couple of months ago for $45,000. And guess what? These people are making money, and I'm going to show you how that works. See, if we look at real estate investing, is it a good investment? Well, let's compare it. Your typical savings account out there is making what, about 1/4%? Money market, less than 1%. 60-month certificate, 3%. In fact, if you're in the Vanguard fund, year to date, it's -8%. Stocks, if you're trading in the long market, you'd be down again as well. Let's look at some real-world examples. Bob here, $6,200 a year in positive cash flow. That's a 13.7% rate of return. Sue, $5,500 a year in positive cash flow. That's a 12.35% rate of return. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that's about the worst our clients do. Many of our clients are making more than 20% on their investment. Not 20% before they take off money for taxes, before they take off money for insurance, before they take off money for property management. No, that is positive cash flow. That's a positive cash flow, cash on cash return. Are you making 13%, 12%, more than 20% on your investments right now? If you're not, you probably ought to be looking at this. And let me tell you, there's a big difference between 3% and 15%. If you look at it in just 1 year, we're talking a difference of $1,300 in interest versus $7,200. If you go out 20 years from now, instead of $36,000 in interest, you're talking $842,000 in interest. That's the power of investing. That's the power of interest. In fact, I think Einstein says it's the greatest force in the universe. And this is true. So when we talk about a 15% rate of return, I hope you understand how significant that is. I hope you also understand that this is not some, sort of get-rich-quick scheme. And we're not promising thousands of percents here. We're promising 12%, 15%, 18%. In other words, we are giving a real-world example of what you can do. But the amount of money associated with that is pretty staggering. So if you had the choice of making a 3% or 15% over the next 10 years, would you rather have $15,000 or $154,000? You decide. Now, a big part of this is what homes you're going to target, because there's lots of things out there. And it really kind of depends what your goals are. Now, there are a lot of investors out there that I call invest to impress kind of guys. Or in other words, big hat, no cattle. So they're out there buying these McMansions, and they're getting a killer deal on them. But they're renting them, and they're not even covering their monthly payments on that. In other words, they're losing money every single month, hoping that the market will recover enough and fast enough where they can recoup those losses and make some sort of profit. That's not what the smart investors are doing today. The smart investors, the ones that are in it to win it, are doing what? They're buying these entry-level homes, and they're renting those out on a month-by-month basis. They're bringing in a positive cash flow. And see, the thing is, even if that house goes down in value, if it went down 3%, you lose a few $100s. That's better than losing $50,000 or $60,000 on a big McMansion. So even if we're not at the bottom of the market, guess what? They're not losing very much. And guess what? They're renting that home for not a whole lot less than you could rent the McMansion for. That market is just not nearly that elastic. So, another real-world example. I pulled this off the MLS. This is a house in Provo, Utah, just down the road from me. 3 bedrooms, nice little home. Every upgrade you can imagine. It's got marble countertops, the whole bit. $209,900. Now, if you were to go get a mortgage payment on that, that's an $874 a month payment. And you could rent it for probably about $950 a month. But once you take into consideration taxes, all the insurance, and everything else, you end up with a net yearly profit of negative $2,000. In other words, really what you're doing is that you're sitting on that house waiting for the market to come back, but every year you're losing money. Now, let's look at Ann here. She buys a house in St. Louis, Missouri. 3 bedrooms, doesn't have every upgrade you can imagine, but it's a nice little home. It's got Corian countertops, not marble, but you know what? It works. In fact, it's probably pretty similar to the first home you purchased. Price? $45,000. She goes out there and gets a $187 a month mortgage on that. How much money did she put in it? Almost nothing at that point. Rents it out for $600 a month. That's $7,200 a year. a yearly net profit of $3,200 per year. And she has no money in that investment. See, after she purchased that home, she let it go out there and what we call season for a while, and then she went and got her money back out. What do you think she's going to do with that money now? She's probably going to go get another house. So we're going to show you how to accelerate and go from one home to two, from two to four, from four to eight, using the same initial investment. So if we look at these two investors, which one do you think is a real estate investor? I'll kind of give you a clue here, help you out.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? This is the person that's in it to win it. And don't believe the hype. Look, cash flow is the new status symbol. It is the new status symbol. We are not in a flipper's market right now. And I'm not saying that there aren't people out there flipping that aren't making money. There are people that are flipping that are making money. But that's a lot of risk and a lot of work. Our clients are sitting back making 12, 15, 20% per year on their investment or more, with absolutely no risk in that. Now, how do you do that? We call it the Marquis Money Machine. It's real simple. And in fact, many of these steps we've already done for you. We've already done the purchase. We've already done the rehab. We've already got the renter in there. All you have to do at that point is, once you've purchased that home from us, after a while, refi that property, reinvest that money, go out there and let us do the first few steps for you again, so that you're buying homes that you can make money on today, and just keep that cycle going. It really is that simple. I've told you before that it's not that we're brilliant. It's just that the market we're in, if you know where to invest, you can't help but make money.
How did she screw that up?
Now, that home in St. Louis, we talked about that. $45,000 a year, $600 a month. You got your yearly expenses like taxes, insurance, property management fees. You know, your income, 12%. Not bad. But we can make it better. How do we make it better? It's real simple. After we've seasoned that, maybe it's 3 months, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 12 months. You've held on to that. You've made quite a bit of money. You're going to go out there and refinance maybe $40,000. So you can take $40,000 back out on a 5% mortgage. That's $166 a month. Your net income goes down to $3,400 per year. But you see, $3,400 per year on a $5,000 investment, because that's all you have in the property at that point. What's your ROI now? 69.6%. How many of you are making 69.6% on your money today? Probably not a lot of you. And the thing is that, yeah, let's be honest here. I'm making 69%, but I'm only making it on $5,000. That other $40,000 is sitting there. What am I going to do with it? Well, I'm going to go ahead and reinvest it. I'm going to go buy me another home and another home. So using the same investment capital again and again and again, I'm able to take one home and turn it into two, two into four, four into eight. Can you imagine having 20 homes that are bringing in $5,000 a year, $3,000 a year? Now that's the kind of six-figure income that really makes sense, because you see, you're making that money regardless of what you're doing. Now, there are a lot of myths out there, and one of them is that you can find REOs anywhere. Well, that part of it's true. But finding REOs that you can make money on, that part is not true. See, typically the best deals are not in your backyard. That's just a common fact. And as convenient as it might be, you can't move that real estate just to make your investing easier. You have to go where the money is. But that presents real problems. If you live in Phoenix and you're trying to invest and make money in Phoenix, boy, that's a hard slog. But if you live in Phoenix and you can make money on a house that's in Indiana, well, how do you do that? Well, you have partners that are helping you manage that.